So Kenny, you mentioned that in the more recent era, you thought NASCAR peaked around 2006 in terms of whether it's money, viewership, crowds. Why do you think it's come down in recent years in terms of the crowd size and the revenue? Jimmy Johnson told another fellow St. Louis and Graham Benzinger on his show that he thought driver salaries were down around 50%. Why do you think that's happened in the last 15 or so years?
So, Charlie, it is a fact that NASCAR peaked in 2006. I know this from NASCAR executives. There was this conversation one day. What was the highest point of NASCAR ever? I was surprised too. It was 2006, and here's why: because we were all thinking, Dale Jr. We were excited about that number 8 red Budweiser car, and right after 2006, NASCAR started going downhill. So everybody has that $1 million question. What happened in NASCAR? Well, I always like to say something a little confusing, but I created this word. I'm sure if we look in the dictionary, it's in there. We've had a big societal shift. Societal means society. I mean, we all blame it on the cell phone. We all, now we have how many channels on TV?
Streaming.
Life has changed so much. Now, that has a little bit to do with it. But when we lost Dale Sr., we lost a lot of fans. Everybody was crushed. They were heartbroken. And so was I. But what happened again, and this is what I believe, and it is a controversial discussion. In my point of view, here's what happened in NASCAR. They started getting a little too big for their britches. Now, I'm not saying anything to you all that I've told NASCAR. I'm not that type of person. For example, they started telling the fans, hey, we're going to have a race here at Texas Motor Speedway on Friday, the trucks. And on Saturday, we're going to run the Xfinity Series. And on Sunday, going to be the Cup race. Well, a lot of the dirt racing fans, a lot of the local racetrack fans, right here in St. Louis, somebody go down here to I-55 Raceway, holds about 3,000 people. Some of those people would say, we're going to go to the big race on Sunday. Well, what happened is all these track owners started saying, no, you've got to buy this $300 ticket. You got to buy one ticket for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the fans are like, no, we just want to go Sunday. And all of a sudden, the hotel rooms, like they do all the time, instead of getting a hotel room for $150, $200, they're jacking these hotel rooms up. And every one of these NASCAR races, from $200 a night to $500 a night. We can go on, but here's the bottom line. All the fans started feeling betrayed. NASCAR, you're roughing us up. We don't know you anymore. You're not letting us buy a single ticket. You're in the hotel rooms. I'm spending $2,000 to go to one race. Well, it's like lighting a fire. All of a sudden, everything just gets going and going and going before you know it. If you stand outside, this is a Darrell Waltrip cliche. If you stand outside of a restaurant long enough and go, hey, the food's bad in there, people start believing you without even going. That's what happened in NASCAR. They upset enough fans that it just started to snowball with that. And you'll get a lot of people, and I'm gonna end with this. If you get on Twitter, you'll have somebody on Twitter and they just trash that. I mean, they go, I hate NASCAR. It's the worst ever. But then if you got a little time, you click to their profile, it will say, big NASCAR fans, love Denny Hamlin. You're like, something's not matching up here. You hate NASCAR, but if you go to their profile, they're big NASCAR fans. But then if you call them out on it, they'll say, I love NASCAR. I just wanted to get back to the glory days. It's funny because people love. Now, this is a cliche. Listen to this one. Fans love to be angry because it makes them happy. Think about that again. Fans love to be angry because it makes them happy. It's a vicious circle. So it could be said in psychology today that the new happy is angry. I want to be angry. Hey, the Green Bay Packers are 12-3, but they only won by 10 points. They're going to lose. Calm down. Enjoy the wins. So we're in a new societal shift. NASCAR messed up, and the cost got out of hand. All these things.
So how do you think NASCAR specifically this year, because we started with hey, this is the most important year ever for NASCAR, which I know has been said before, but in terms of venue shifts, which we're very excited about here in St. Louis, because we have our first cup race over there at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and also to start the season out in California, correct, in a football stadium. So what is NASCAR doing to try to gain more eyeballs on the sport, and you think it's going to work this year?
So there's a new sheriff in town in NASCAR. You had Big Bill France that created NASCAR. Then you had Bill France Jr. So remember, Big Bill, Little Bill, Bill France Jr. Then Brian tried to come in and he got himself in hot water. But we've had some good leadership in NASCAR all these years. Mike Helton was the president. He did a good job. Steve O'Donnell, Steve Phelps. You hear all these names, but none of them owned NASCAR. Now we got Ben Kennedy France. So it's Ben France, but his father passed away. So he took on the name Kennedy. I might have said that wrong, but the bottom line is this. Ben Kennedy France. He is now the face of NASCAR. He's extremely young, and it was his idea, along with Fox Sports, Jacob Ullman. You got to remember the Fox studios are right down the road from the UCLA stadium. Very famous college football team. So Jacob Ullman, who hires all the talent. Jacob's the one that hired Troy Aikman or hired our own Joe Buck here in NASCAR. Jacob's not the president. Eric Shanks is. But Jacob's pretty powerful. So Jacob's a big UCLA fan. So between Ben Kennedy, the new face of NASCAR, and Jacob Ullman, they said, let's build a makeshift track inside the UCLA stadium. And they did it. They said it cost $1 million to do. And the fans are like, you're crazy. There's another track up in Bowman Gray, up around Winston-Salem, North Carolina, identical. So a lot of the fans are like, why didn't you do this in Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray? Well, their thought is that let's try this again. We got California Speedway, but it's an hour and a half down the road here. Let's put this race right in the middle. Something crazy. So NASCAR's new idea is to cater to the crazy way. There's sports have got crazy, right? It started out with the X Games. Now we see snowmobiles flipping. We see Monster Jam. People want quick action now. The 600-mile races are kind of like, NASCAR has become somewhat boring the way they go about it. Back in the day, it's like, hey, give me a 5-hour race. We'll drink beer. We'll party. We'll look up and see who's leading the race with 100 miles to go. Now, most of you want quick. When we go through the drive-thru at McDonald's, I waited for 5 minutes for my food. That's where we're at in life. So the fans want quick action. So this thought, let's change it up. June 5th, the very first ever Cup race going to be here in St. Louis at a new venue, different type of racetrack. Very excited because it's our hometown. But that one, they're going to start the year out, like you said, inside the UCLA Coliseum. Everybody's going to be watching just to see if it's going to be a mess or not. Regardless, it's a makeshift racetrack. They spent $1 million. It's not our money, so what do we care, right? So we're going to see, and they're going to create new venues. It's going to be a NASCAR like you've never seen before. They're talking about a track in downtown the city of Chicago. You never know. We might have a track in the city of your town through all your businesses. Who knows? But Charlie, this new next-gen car can do all that. You don't have to build different cars. You buy one car, you can run Daytona, and we can run on a road course, and we can run on a street course. So we're flexible now.
I think that was perfect for our first episode or edition. Maybe we'll have a name for it. We'll probably get a nice backdrop as well. We're just starting here. We got Kenny's head over here.
Watch this.
Here we go. That's what we need.
So when COVID came, remember when COVID came? They the Cardinals called me up and they said, "Can we put your face in one of the seats?" So this thing is the real deal. It's certified, and they would change it around. So I just think it's funny. I've saved it ever since.
There you go. That might be our new backdrop. But, good stuff, good info, and again, we'll probably see maybe once a week or so doing one of those.
I love it, Charlie.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching, and always like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.